it's Alice and welcome to another episode of Book Chat. So if you haven't seen an episode of Book Chat yet, these are our weekly videos where we wrap up everything that's kind of been announced in the bookish world. There was not much last week. I think everybody was kind of gearing up for the bank holiday weekend and wasn't really that interested in putting announcements out. But this week is absolutely stacked. So I'm going to run through a few things that I think you'll find interesting, a few things that I hadn't seen announced before that I'm assuming are new. And I haven't really read anything this week, so that's going to be everything for you today. We don't have a reading wrap up for you because we just haven't had time to pick up any books. We're trying to get our house sorted. We're getting rid of a lot of stuff, like selling it on Vinted and donating it to charity shops. So there's been lots of like walking backwards and forwards to town and sending out parcels and things. So once we've got that done, hopefully we'll be able to like relax a little bit more. But it is just one of those things that it's hard with the kids, especially where it's been a half term. So hopefully next week we'll be back at it a little bit more. And get a bit more reading done for you. But without further ado, let us move on to the announcements for this week. So first up, I have a FairyLoot waitlist update for you. And this is quite interesting because it means that the waitlist for the UK and International Romancy subscription hasn't actually moved off of people who signed up on the first day. So if you are somebody who's signed up to that subscription waitlist, then you are going to be in for a very long wait for that one. And I'm sorry to break that news to you. Let me just let you know the rest of the dates. So for United Kingdom and International, the YA box invitations are up to November the 10th, 2023. The YA book only is up to November the 4th, 2023. The adult book only is up to August the 10th, 2023. The combo book only is up to November the 30th, 2023. And the Romantasy subscription is up to May 12th, 2023. So that is over a year behind on the Romantasy subscription. I'm on the combo waitlist, still not sure if I'm going to go for it because I do still enjoy getting the items, but my combo waitlist, I think I joined up the week before New Year, so I've got a bit of time to decide on that one because they're getting me through these waitlists very slowly. For the United States and Canada, the YA box invitations have been sent up to October the 22nd, 2023. YA book only is on September the 14th, 2023. Adult book only is on June the 10th, 2023, so that's also nearly a year behind. Combo book only is on September the 23rd, 2023. And the Romantasy from America is on August the 31st, 2023. So you're a bit more in luck. They have moved on with a few more months on that one. But just unfortunately nowhere near up to date. I'm wondering if it might be because Romantasy subscriptions are few and far between in the UK, but I know in the US there's a few different Romantasy subscription services. So I guess because of the shipping, some people might have decided to skip when they got their invitation, and that's why it's moving through a little bit faster. Either that or they just had more copies available for US and Canada if they thought that it was going to be a bigger market. But it will be interesting to see how these progress over the next few months as the subscription continues being released. We've also got a few other FairyLoot announcements for you. So they finally announced volume 4 of the Heartstopper comic by Alyce Oseman. This one's going on general sale on June the 12th. So it's only a couple of weeks away, but if you're somebody who's been if you're somebody who's ordered the other volumes in this series, then you might want to look out because obviously you'll get a pre-sale, but I always just put the general sales in here because otherwise it's a lot to go into. But all of the pre-sale dates are available in the descriptions on their announcements on Facebook and Instagram, other platforms like that. They also announced their copy of Queen Bee by Juno Dawson. This is on general sale on July the 10th, and this is the prequel novel to Her Majesty's Royal Coven. So instead of releasing book 3 this year, Juno is actually releasing a prequel this year, which is focused on Anne Boleyn and is meant to be about when the Coven initially began. And then in the future, probably next year, we'll get book 3 in the Her Majesty's Royal Coven core series. I'm glad that FairyLoot have decided to do this one. I do already have it pre-ordered from Waterstones, but I do love this series, so I've got both editions of the first 2 books. It'll be nice to be able to continue that theme with the next one. There's also been 2 FairyLoot leaks, both of these coming to us courtesy of the Autumn Book Reads on Instagram. I recommend Autumn's page a lot, so if you aren't subscribed to that yet or aren't following that yet, then you definitely should be. She's discovered a leak that they are doing Heartless by Elsie Silver, Unsure whether it's just the first book or if it's going to be the full set. Alyce put up a picture of her signing a tip-in page, and she kind of covered over the FairyLoot logo, but you could see it through her fingers, so that will be coming at some point soon. There's also been a link that FairyLoot will be featuring the Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. That isn't known whether it's going to be, again, a full set or if it's going to be in the subscription box, because I believe this one was independently published but is being traditionally published later in the year. So there is a chance that it might end up being the Romantasy pick. If so, I think there will be a lot of happy people, but I think this will sell out either way, whether it's a core sale or not, because I've heard a lot of very good things about this series. We'll then move on to Team Illumicrate, who had a few different things coming out this week, first of which was the Evernight July teaser. Now, again, I had to rely on Autumn Book Read's guess for this one because I don't really know a lot about modern horror or anything that is being anticipated. Autumn believes this is going to be The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. I've seen a lot of people in the comments on the announcement teaser theme reveal thing saying that they're very uncomfortable with eyes. So if it is this book and you are uncomfortable with eyes, I'd recommend just skipping or selling it on, because it seems like eyes are going to be a massive part of this, and it makes me really glad I'm not part of the Evernight subscription because I really don't like eyes. Not at all. No. Illumicrate also announced that their May boxes are going to be shipping late and arriving after their June subscription boxes. This is because of a late change in BookPick. Recent change. I'll put the screenshot up that I found. I'm not a subscriber to Illumicrate anymore, so I didn't get this information firsthand. But it seems that because they decided to drop the Kate Corain book and they've picked up the new book that's being featured, which I can't remember off the top of my head, because of how late in the process it was that they changed it. This has just been delayed by a month, but I think that they've done a really good job to not only take on board all of the criticism against Kate Corain and to act upon them, and to only get the box delayed by a few weeks. So I don't think that this is necessarily a surprise or necessarily a bad thing, but if you are an Illumicrate subscriber and you haven't received this email, then at least you are now aware that you'll be expecting your May box a little bit later, so just wait for some more updates from them on the shipping updates for this one. There's also been an announcement from Daphne Press, so the Daphne Press Deluxe Edition of A Porson by Garth Nix has been announced. This is on sale on July the 4th and is the third book not the Inheritance, I can't remember what the series is called. Sabriel, Lyriel, Abhorsen. I mean, it might just be called the Abhorsen series. We'll go with that. But they've already done the first two. As far as I'm aware, book 2 might still be available on their website, but I think book 1's sold out. But if you have ordered I'm guessing either of the first two, there will be a pre-sale for you. Again, just check on the announcement description and then you'll be able to find out those dates. The Lot Library released their July aesthetic reel and then also announced their July theme. So it's going to be Growing Pains. And again, Autumn believes this is going to be Bad Graces by Kyrie Macaulay. I believe I mentioned this when the Lot Library did their emoji hints a couple of weeks ago. So this has now been confirmed and it'll be interesting to see what they do with this edition, because the normal book cover is gorgeous. So it'll be interesting to see how much they change it up. But we'll just have to wait and see. A few announcements from Owlcrate as well. So they released the theme for their July adult fantasy. The theme is A Sweet Escape. And the book pick sounds like it's going to be The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This sounds really cozy, really cute. Definitely one to keep an eye out for. Meanwhile, they also announced their July YA fantasy theme, and this is going to be Dark Reflections. And the book looks like it's going to be Sleep Like Death by Kaylin Bayron. So this is a FairyLoot pick as well. I'm not sure if it's the FairyLoot pick for June or July. So if you are subscribed to both of these boxes, then it might be worth having a look and seeing when you can use your skip on which one you would prefer to have. Unfortunately for me, it probably means an Owlcrate skip because the shipping is a lot more expensive. But Autumn Book Reads has seen a spoiler of this one, has seen like an early copy of it. And apparently it's absolutely stunning. It's one of the best editions that Owlcrate have ever done. So if you're torn between the two, I'd recommend probably going with the Owlcrate one. For me, I've already got a couple of Kaylin Bayron books by FairyLoot, so at least it will match as closely as it can to those. So I'll just keep my FairyLoot subscription for this one. Owlcrate also revealed the design of the Nexon mug in their Royalty Mug collection, which will be coming in the June YA box. So if you want a surprise on this one, don't check Owlcrate's Instagram and look away from the screen for a few seconds, because we are going to put it up. So the mug is inspired by A Court of Thorns and Roses, and then this is the design that they've put up for it. And it looks quite basic, but I can imagine that a lot of people are going to be clamouring for this one, so I'll probably just pass on my copy to somebody else when it arrives, because I was already interested in the book for June and now I'm just getting a mug as well. and I have too many mugs, and I didn't get the first one in this series, but they're definitely going with very popular fandoms for this series, because the first mug was the Cruel Prince, so it'll be interesting to see what they do later in the year. They've also revealed that they're teaming up with Jason from Easy Cat, and they're going to be making a board game together, which sounds pretty awesome. From what I can see, the board game is going to be called Strikes, Gods and Monsters, and it sounds like you can choose whether you want to be a god or a monster or a soldier or a civilian, things like that. They have only announced like the name of it and the fact that it's happening, so if you're interested in board games, you like Easy Cat or you like Owlcrate, then keep an eye out. I'll try and put more updates on the channel as I see them, but I think this is a really cool idea because I love Jason's videos, and I think that the ones that he does that feature board games are some of the funniest ones, but also he's just an all-around great guy, so it'll be great to see what he does with this. We've had a couple of announcements from Waterstones as well. So they've put up their pre-order of Skandar 4 by A.F. Stedman. Not the final title, thankfully, but that hasn't been revealed yet. This is the 4th book in the Skandar series, surprisingly. And I have the stenciled edge special signed editions of the first 3, so I've already pre-ordered this one. They've also put up their pre-order of Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros, so this is going to match their editions of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Again, I have the first 2, so I have pre-ordered this one. As far as I'm aware, it's sold out within about 6 hours of them announcing it, but if it's anything like their edition of When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker, they kept uploading more copies, so make sure you sign up to the waitlist, click the notify me button or whatever you need to do, and then if any more copies do come available, then you will have the chance to get them. This isn't out until January, so I've got a feeling you've probably got a good chance of being able to get it from Waterstones themselves. And if I'm right, they actually ended up having some of their copies of Fourth Wing go into stores on the sale date, because they had some left over in the warehouse. But if you're interested, then definitely try to pre-order it sooner rather than later, because even though there's going to be 10,000 editions of this book, the Waterstones ones are some of the nicest. Catherine Mother and Catherine Doyle also announced that the titles of the Twin Crowns spin-off novels are going to be announced on Wednesday the 5th of June, so this is just in a few days. They have said that the titles are going to contain spoilers for plot points in Burning Kingdoms, so if you haven't finished the Twin Crowns series yet, then you're gonna need to... Is it Burning Kingdoms? Burning Crowns? I don't know why Burning Kingdoms came out so confidently when I'm not sure if that's what it's called. They have said that the titles may contain spoilers for the 3rd book in the series, so if you haven't finished off the Twin Crowns trilogy yet, then it might be worth muting them or just avoiding social media for a little bit. I haven't finished the Twin Crowns series, but I am obligated to report on bookish news to you guys, so I will spoil myself and then pretend to be shocked when I finally read the book, but this is my own fault for not catching up on the series over the last kind of 8 months, because I first read Twin Crowns in August last year. There's been a cover reveal for Spiral by Balcabra. This has been illustrated by Lenny Kaufman, who is one of the best illustrators for romance covers that are out there at the moment. Very, very popular artist and a very, very unique art style, so very recognisable covers. This matches the cover that Lenny designed for Collide, and it just seems like hockey romances are becoming the next big thing. So if that is a trope that you enjoy, then definitely check these ones out. It's been announced that there's going to be a Netflix adaptation of Jessica Goodman's They'll Never Catch Us. So this is a YA thriller that I don't really know much about. I've heard some other things about Jessica Goodman's other books, and I recognise the cover for this one, but I don't really know much about it, so I might need to try and get a wiggle on with getting hold of that at some point soon, especially if there's going to be an adaptation. And again, as I see more news on this one, I will put it in future updates for you. Red Tower Books have also announced the next release that they'll be putting out. It's called The Never List by Jade Presley, and it's going to be released in April 2025. I would tentatively say put this on your maybe lists for a FairyLoot romancy pick for next year, because it's being described as a cross between 50 Shades of Grey and The Servant of Wings and Night. And FairyLoot have done The Servant of Wings and Night not as a subscription book, but as like a special, separate special edition announcement. So I wouldn't be surprised if they'd keep an eye on this. Red Tower, famously the publishers behind Fourth Wing, so I think a lot of their books are very hot commodities in the publishing world. So just keep an eye out for this one, but they have revealed like the special first edition stenciled edges on this one. So if you don't want to wait and see if it'll be in a subscription box, then you do still have the chance to order yourself a special edition if you'd like to. Orbit Books have also revealed a special slipcase edition of the For the Wolf, For the Throne series by Hannah Witten. This has the very steep price point of £100, but if you order it through their website, then you can actually get it for £85. So if you're a big fan of this duology and you like these designs, then it's a nice little saving for you. I think I've got the first one on my Kindle, but I haven't read it yet, so I will be passing on these ones. But I do wonder what it means for the special edition landscape if publishers are starting to do more of their own special edition announcements. And it'll be interesting to see if that becomes more and more prominent over the next couple of years. Last but not least, we've had a few more details revealed on that edition of A Study of Drowning by Ava Reid that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago. So when it was originally announced, there were only images of the stenciled edges, which are pictured on the screen. But it's now been revealed that there's also going to be foil on the hardcover case, as well as like a marble design on the end pages. So if you were tempted by this one but weren't sold by the stenciled edges, then you do now have a couple of other customizations to consider. I believe this one's out on like November 4th or something, so it's still a little while ahead. But if you are a big fan of this book, or you are ready to succumb to the hype and just buy it anyway, then that's a few more details for you on this edition that I did announce a couple of weeks ago. I don't know how long ago that was, maybe 3? Who knows? And that is all of the news for you today. So a lot more than last week. A lot more. And it's actually been really fun because basically every time I've loaded up Instagram, I found something else that's been announced. So I've been just adding to this list all week. If there's anything that I've missed, then please feel free to leave a comment down below. Or if there are any other book boxes that you would like me to feature on this weekly segment, then please do shout them out. Give them a chance to be featured. I'm happy and open to adding more to this. It's just these are the boxes that as a UK reader I find the most relevant. So those are the ones that I'm featuring at the moment. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please give it a big like. And if you'd like to subscribe, I'd be really grateful. We are trying to post more videos more regularly. It's not happening at the moment because, as I said, half term, illness, we've been trying to tidy our house up. It's been a fight in many different aspects, but eventually you'll get more videos from us and eventually we'll actually read more because, yeah, I managed to read half a chapter of More Than a Best Friend by Emma R. Alban this week, but that's half a chapter and not really much happened. They're just about to play croquet, so I'm just bumbling along with that one, but we'll get there. We'll get there. That should definitely be the subtitle for this channel. We'll get there. I'm Alice. This is the Bumbling Blogger. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next week with a new episode of Book Chat. Bye! What is wrong with me? Of course I'd start choking as soon as I cough.